Hello, everybody. I'm Frank Myers from the Bothan Network, joined by BlondeSabine herself, Courtney.
Hey, everybody.
And George the Hulk from our team. We are going to be recapping
All right.
George's match with Platform, one of Late Night Gaming's competitive players. Tony, his name's Tony. So, yeah, in the leader draft, our team selected NUTE. Late Night selected PADME. So we're going to show you all the highlights of the show match between George and Tony on NUTE versus PADME. So let's get right first into the deck list.
Should be exciting.
Yeah, George, this is the deck that Platform brewed up. Give us a few thoughts about this deck list.
Yeah, Padme. So he recognized cleverly that like Padme is a card advantage, a card draw leader. So he used these, kept his curve low with a lot of 2-drops, things like Unmasking the Conspiracy and Spark of the Rebellion and the Wolf Pack. A lot of low curve stuff to try and fill out the board. A fun little twist with 5s. So when his high value clones die, things like Echo, things like Coruscant Guard, he can turn those into more card draw and keep the units coming out. And of course, Defensive Camino, when you're a Republic-based deck, can give you a bunch of restore and a bunch of units. So we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, we'll see a Defensive Camino highlight from y'all's match in a few moments. And then this was your deck. Give us a little idea. What were you brewing here? This is spicy.
Yeah, so a couple things with NUTE is, the tokens you create are very flexible. I also wanted to, one of the core lines is being able to cheat out one of the 8 cost units on the 4 resource turn into an OB. So things like the Bactoid Spider Droid, the Providence Destroyer, those are very easy to get out on the 4 resource turn. Just sacrifice a turn 1 token producer or a turn 2. And I like to call this egg sorted deck because a lot of the units have when defeated effects, things like Cobb Vanth. Cobb Vanth turns into a 2-drop, which turns into a droid. Bounty Hunter Quarry for 1 resource can get you a Cobb Vanth, which then represents 3 bodies that you can sacrifice to exploit. So 1 resource becomes effectively 6 resources. So a lot of really cool interactions with that. And of course, just the big stuff you know and love. We're going to love. Malevolence, Vader.
Right.
Yeah, good. All right, well, let's get into the recap of the match. You guys, I think you had initiative first. One thing that Tony led with early in game 1 was a early waylay on your super laser tech.
Yeah, this is cool. Obviously, it prevents the ramp, but it not only prevents the ramp, it prevents the exploit. So
yeah, good
one of the cool things that people will discover as they play against and with exploit decks is resources are a myth. They don't matter anymore. We'll see later a Malevolence coming down super early. You'll see all these 5-drops going down early. So being able to stop not only the ramp but also the unit, very heads up. So
and
good
then
play
one
there.
feature of Tony's deck, which was so well done on his part, was the hand disruption, right? So right off the bat, after that, he hit you with a Spark of Rebellion and got a pretty big card out of it.
Yeah, this is huge because like a lot of these exploit decks, they have 2 types of cards. They need token producers and they need the exploit payoffs. So and then he takes a glowing barrage as one of the payoffs as well.
Right,
but being able to rip apart those synergies, very strong. If you have a bunch of 1/1s on the board and your deck is not built to utilize those and you just want to be exploiting them, Dooku, NUTE, if your goal is to exploit them, it really stinks to have your exploit card ripped from you. So
early in game 1, he hits the waylay in a really high skill play. He sparks out your overwhelming barrage, and we're about to see that he flips his leader, and with a Plo Koon, he clears your board.
Right.
I mean, it looked really good for Padme early in game 1, George.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's tricky because like you could bait yourself into I just need to throw units out as fast as possible. But especially with green black, like you have all these ambushers, the Separatist Commando, Droid Commando. Get those two confused. Droid Commando, having a 3-cost Separatist ambusher, not a common effect on 3-cost units. and it's very strong. So being able to sack that, go with the waylay, develop units at the same time, very heads up.
Yeah, because this point in game 1, he only had 6 damage on his base, and you had almost no board. You used NUTE
Yeah.
here to make a droid. But how did you turn this around? What kind of droid synergies are you about to demonstrate? Because right
so
now,
I
you
think
have no board. Where's your units?
so I think right there is super interesting. So you'll see Newt created a droid right there, which like he has to respect it. That effectively healed me 2 health. You know, as far as what Newt is actually offering, it's plays like that. You know, you look at Iden and you're like, oh, exhausted, heal 1 health. Well, in the math of the game, that was heal 2 health, deal 1 damage.
Yeah.
So Newt has access to a lot of these above rate plays. But what's about to happen is I'm about to get to exploit train running. You'll see Osai was a capture unit protected by a sentinel unit, all protecting my droid manufacturer Poggle. So
You turn the
when
whole
you're
game
when you're
around.
just playing so many cards cheated, you outpace a lot of decks.
Right.
Yeah, and then you ended up winning game 1 with this pretty crazy good Darth Vader play. Is Darth Vader fit into a droid deck?
Absolutely. Droid, I think Darth Vader, I think one of the best, I'll say, in the past, one of the things people were constantly hoping for was like Death Trooper. Like you really wanted a Death Trooper to make Darth Vader hit a little bit harder. Well, now Separatist decks have Droid Commando. So now you're way above what Death Trooper is doing. You're doing 4 damage on ambush,
Crazy.
plus 5 damage from Darth Vader. So,
Yeah.
and if you don't, and if you know, if your opponent doesn't have a board, you can still get other stuff like the droid escort or a super laser attack, or even one of the officials like Poggle. So, very consistent. Vader's very consistent. Being able to get the high roll with droid commando is very strong.
So you win game 1, and then in this recap, we go into game 2. This is game 2. Early in the game, you get your Poggle going again. You have a lot of droids. You have an official on the board. I think you both ramped at this point. So this is only like turn 4, maybe? I don't
I think
know.
it's 4. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
yeah. 3 or 4.
He plays a Falcon, and you answer with one of the most incredible reasons to play these kind of decks. You play on turn 4 a Malevolence. Oh my! I see you're exploiting 3
On turn
units.
4.
Look at that! A Malevolence on turn 4, George.
Wild.
Yep,
Wow!
We're in the
that's
end game.
Incredible.
we're in the end game now, boys. Yep, and that's one of the cool things of the set. And you'll notice, not only Poggle, but getting those extra bodies out there gave me the ability to not only develop a 7/7 with Restore 2, but also immediately block 3 damage.
Yeah, because he had the Falcon ready to attack you, and he couldn't do anything with it.
Right.
Because you played Malevolence on turn 4. That's
Yeah.
so early.
Yeah.
Have a 7/7 restore
That
2 in
definitely feels like a
space.
scoop at that point.
Yeah, you feel really bad if someone plays a Malevolence on you in turn 4.
Yeah.
Now, if you can answer the Malevolence,
Right,
if he
right,
has a
right.
Fell the Dragon,
Right.
if he's in blue, or if he has any kind of waylay or an answer, I mean, there are plenty of answers for Malevolence, right, George?
Right.
Absolutely, and that is a concern. But we're also talking about Blue Green Villain, which has plenty of value. Newt, who refunds you for exploiting. Poggle, which keeps jamming the the token generation. If they're using their resources to answer your Malevolence, they're not using their resources to clean up your droids and kill Poggle.
Wow, good point.
Yeah.
Good point. And that Malevolence, as we're going to see here in game 2, just never got answered. He was able to. He did the great thing. That's a great card he's playing to defend Camino, defensive Camino. But you're about to turn it around with an overwhelming barrage.
Oh yeah. Then
I mean,
Yep.
Yeah.
overwhelming barrage on Malevolence is 9 damage.
Yeah.
Look at that. There it is. The overwhelming barrage.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's.
How often do you see that one? Yeah, not just a Overwhelming Barrage, an Overwhelming Barrage on
Malevolent.
on this early in the game is
Right.
9 damage.
I think it's a
from
7 resource
barrage.
turn.
Yeah, this is pretty
5
bad.
resources there.
No,
Right,
I think
resource- or
I think, but they ramped. So I think this is turn
that's
5.
right, that's right, yeah.
They're on 7.
Yeah, you're right. This is turn 5, but I have my new flipped,
That's
so
insane,
it's 7 resources.
That's a pretty ridiculous board clear on your part.
Yep.
And then from there, it's hard to recover from that. You have a big board. You like the Cobb Vance. It helps you, I guess, keep. You can exploit Cobb and still get a unit from him himself. That's good value. You like Value Town, George. I know you do.
I do love. I love big numbers. What can I say?
Yeah. So this Overwhelming Barrage is going to clear his board. You're going to hit for 9 with Malevolence. You're going to hit with the board, and that's pretty much going to wrap up game 2. And gosh, congratulations, George, on a 2-0 win here in the show match. That really helps us.
It's really interesting because Platform had the board clear the first game.
Yeah.
And then George
there's the
had
fist
the
bump.
second game. So yeah, that was really.
There's the fist bump. So good job,
Great
guys.
games.
Well played, George. How'd you feel about the match?
Congrats.
And your deck?
Some cool moments. I was happy I was able to demonstrate some of the cool things exploit can do, how exploit functions, how you can build around like new cards, but also use a little bit of those old classics we know and love, or hate, depending on what side you are.
Played a Vader, you played Overland Barrage. I mean, this is still green villain control.
Yeah.
Still good stuff. I mean, I will say I only have 5 cards from the first 2 sets of the deck.
Yeah.
No.
Like-
We
I
look
love
at your
that,
list.
though. I think that's.
I mean, we go back and look
fantastic.
at your list. You did a great job.
Yeah.
The point of the show match is to show off the new set.
Right.
You definitely, met that.
And I think the old cards I used make perfect sense. Like, the Bounty Hunter Quarry into Cobb Vanth into looping more stuff is absolutely crazy when you get to see it. So
Yeah. Well, congratulations, George.
Yeah,
And-
everybody in Star Wars already knows you're a great deck builder. This is just another.
Thank you.
Another
wonderful example of it. Right?
And anyone can find the deck. Link is going to be here. If any of you want to try his NUTE deck, the Padme deck is really good. I mean, I really like the Cunning Padme. If y'all want to try that link, I think Loopy and Late Night will put it in the comments there. But enjoy the rest of the show match. And now we're going to turn it back over to Loopy.